Hello everyone, my name is Shizhen Zhang. Today I'm gonna present the country I was assigned, Indonesia, and I will talk about where that country falls on corruption index and those related business practices that are or are not acceptable there. Also, the worst time to travel to that country for business. First, what is corruption index? Transparency International has published the Corruption Perception Index since 1996, annually ranking countries by their perceived levels of corruption as determined by expert assessment and opinion surveys. The scales for corruption index from 0 to 100. 100 means no corruption, 80 to 100 means barely no corruption, 50 to 80 means light corruption, 25 to 50 means corruption is serious. 0 to 25 means extreme corruption. Corruption index rank of Indonesia in world is 90 out of 176. Corruption index score of Indonesia is 37 out of 100. Indonesia score very low in the corruption index, which means corruption in Indonesia becomes a very serious problem in the nation. As far as I'm concerned, there are two main reasons cause the corruption: history reason and institutional issues. From history views, many Indonesians have blamed today corruption on the dictatorship of former President Suharto for more than 30 years, saying that collusion and the nepotism at that time lead to corruption. After resignation of Suharto, many people thought that democracy was a good way to solve the problem of corruption, but it is not. There is a popular joke in Indonesia. In the Suharto era, corruption is carried out under the table. After democratic reform, corruption is spared to the tables. Now even the tables are corrupted. From institutional issues, in the case of Indonesia, corruption is the country in the country is likely to be facilitated by a number of factors, such as large amount of public resource derived from natural resource, vested interest, and the politically connected network. Poorly paid civil servants, low regulatory quality, and weak judicial independence. In addition, local officials are given wide discretionary power and resource without proper accountability and enforcement mechanism. For the solution, based on what I talked about, I think anti-corruption reforms in the country could focus on enhancing institutional capacity and reduce clientelistic practice in order to ensure that the rules are followed and applied equally among all citizens. Moreover, strengthening accountability at the local level is key for the success of decentralization reforms and to prevent corruption at the local level. And I would like to share some business practice that are acceptable and unacceptable in Indonesia with you. Indonesia is a Muslim country. 87% of Indonesians are Muslim. When you are greeting to Indonesians, greet each other by bowing and putting your hand on your heart and or bow with both hands together. When shaking hands, using your right hands will be more appropriate. How to introduce yourself? Say hello and then giving your first name and your last name. When you are communicating with Indonesia, saving face is the key to all communication. Harmony must be maintained. Chinese Indonesia in business culture tend to be much more direct. Remember to be patient and avoid present different opinions aggressively. Still, there are something you cannot do when you do business with Indonesians. When you're greeting to a superior, you cannot hold your hand higher than them. So Indonesians may bow or nod their heads lower in presence of elders or superiors. You should not use your left hand to shake or pass subjects, and also do not firmly shake. Also, you should not do or say something to make Indonesians lose face. Women and men are inappropriate to shake or physically touch in public in local culture. Physical contact is avoided. The second thing I would like to share with you is the worst time to travel to that country for business. There are several major holidays in Indonesia. New Year's, Chinese New Year's, Day of Silence, Good Friday, Buddha's birthday, Eid al-Fitr, International Labor Day, Independence Day, Islamic New Year, Christmas. Because Indonesia has a variety of religion, most of their holidays are religious festivals, like Eid al-Fitr for Muslim. This is the most important holiday for Indonesian Muslim. Every September in Islamic calendar, the national Islam must implement fasting during the daytime for a month, and according to Indonesia, they call it Ramadan. On the eve of Eid al-Fitr, Islamists are engaged in charitable donation. Officially, this festival is only one day off, but in fact, some companies generally have to make the holiday more than 3 days. Some companies even more than a week. Everyone needs to go back home to reunite with their family. Travel should pay attention to avoid Ramadan. This time, most restaurants are not open all day. It will be inappropriate to do business with Indonesia at that time. Therefore, I think you need to figure out what religion your business partner believes in Indonesia before you go. Also, there are two seasons in Indonesia, the rainy season and the dry season. The rainy season lasts from October to April, and the dry season lasts from May to September. Every year, from May to October is the best travel time. The period of precipitation is rela- um, relatively small. Travel should pay attention to avoid Ramadan. Thank you for listening to my presentation.